Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a timely tarot oracle reading about random shift. If you resonate with the title or the thumbnail, this is the perfect reading for you. Delivered at the perfect time in timely fashion, courtesy of the language of the universe, synchronicity. This is a general or collective reading, so take what works for you and just leave the rest. We'll begin with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck, and that is, whoa, a Knight of Cups. Lots of love coming in these readings in the last couple days, and sometimes the opposite. So let's be prepared. So the Knight of Cups is talking about the knight in shining armor that we read about in romance novels and, see in the movies. Someone who's dressed to the nines, very classy, bringing in a cup of love. So this is saying, I have a cup of love to offer. And the knights would work for the kings and the queens in the court, and they would deliver messages far and wide from one kingdom to another. They would have to go, deliver it by, usually by horse, and then wait for the answer and then deliver it back. So it was a long process. These days we have access to information at the flip of a switch. So this could be coming to you in the form of a phone call. It could be an email, a text message. It could also be a letter in the mail, or it could be a social media post or some sort of energy in that light. Stella, my cat, is here. Hopefully she's going to be a good girl and lay down and purr. That's her job, but sometimes she doesn't do what she's supposed to. Just saying, Stella. Okay, so now this is the underlying energy coming in for this reading. Let's see where we go from here. We have disappointment in love. So this energy has been coming in a lot, and I feel like maybe because of the way the world is right now, that, it's so topsy-turvy and everything going kind of haywire in the economy and everything, that maybe more people are in this situation than ever before. I'm not sure if that's the case or not, but we will go with the reading and we'll see what happens here. So it looks like someone wants to offer a cup of love, but the person they want to offer the love to is like sitting under a tree, tree hugging, because they've already had bad experiences in love and romance, and they're like, the universe is saying, no, take this cup, this Knight of Cups, really, this is the real deal. Take this cup. And the person under the tree here is saying, no, thank you. I'm tired of the same old shift. It's the same. If it turns out to be the same old shift, I just can't handle another disappointment in love. I don't want to put myself through that again. But then that means you don't have love again. So you have to decide, what are you going to do? You're sitting under the tree. Are you going to sit there disappointed for the rest of your life? Or are you going to, rise to the challenge and open your heart up again? It's a challenging decision. So the 3 cups here quite often can represent that there was infidelity in a relationship. So there was a third person involved in a relationship that should have only had 2. It also can imply that, you've given someone 3 chances and they are asking, just give me one more chance. I'll do better. And you're like, no, 3 strikes, you're out. I'm not doing that. So we don't know exactly for sure what that is, or it could represent that you've had 3 different relationships in the past or more, whatever. And you just, you gave it your all, but it didn't work out. So you're just in a bad space for for love. And so I say, let's get this over with now before I start the Valentine's Day, because I was thinking, I should do some Valentine's Day bonus readings. Now I'm wondering if I should after today's readings, but that's okay. We're going to keep going. Okay, so this is saying that you do, so we have 4 cups and we have 4 pentacles. And so the energy here is like, there's 10 in the deck. So this is kind of talking about feeling kind of low. This can talk about playing small, feeling like you're selling yourself short kind of energy. Although this card does say, if you, okay, that's the hard part, what we just described. But the universe is saying, love is supposed to be beautiful and you're supposed to enjoy it. And and here is God and the universe offering you another opportunity at love, you might want to take it. And then the other one is, this card here is saying, okay, in the past, maybe you have wasted your time, your energy. The pentacles represent health, wealth, and happiness. And of course, a big part of that is money. Having said that, money, you could have all the money in the world and still be unhappy. And you could not have money and be happy. So it just, it's not just dependent on how much money you have, for sure. So this card is saying you do have a strong foundation for money, because this one is about making money. He's standing on 2 coins, so it's standing on a strong foundation. You understand money, you understand how to make money, you're capable of doing so. In the past, perhaps, you have played it safe, because this represents safe money. Then this is you're going after your heart's desires and all the way to your crowning glory. And because you notice this person is short in stature, it can represent that you have been selling yourself short and not really going for it. Because of this energy of fearing that it's not going to work out. And also, it can also talk about playing small, like not wanting to take the risk. Like, okay, I'm just going to hang on to my money. I'm just going to hang on to, a relationship that's just not quite 100% what I want, because it's easier than having to go date again. And I hear you. I mean, it can be challenging, but this energy is saying, it would be very rare for you to be a hero in your own hometown. And so sometimes we have to leave our comfort zone and we have to take some risks to have a better result in our lives. So that's the energy that this is talking of. And we have, and this also, just to point out, this is about how much are you going to invest in others? How much are they investing in you? What are you investing in? That kind of energy. How, what percentage of risk are you at? What are you willing to take no risk at all? Or is it that you don't want, it is risky because you don't have that much to lose kind of energy? We have the Page of Wands here, and the Page of Wands is admiring his wand. And so the Page of Wands represents passion. So this can be passion, the Page of Wands, think of adolescent boy, someone that's a teenager under the age of 21. And think about that energy. And he is admiring his wand, and he loves to be passionate. So it's that could be his focus. This could be saying that you may be young, or you and if you're not the one with the wand, it could be that you're attracting people who are in this energy. And so there's nothing this energy is natural. Having said that, it's something that you don't, if you're looking for a long-lasting relationship, you don't want to be putting your time and energy into someone that just is, has no intention of sticking around, basically. Someone who's thinking with their little head and then off to the next adventure. That's the kind of energy here. And that's okay, because this is someone who's very young and not ready to settle down. So that's the kind of energy we're dealing with here. You have to decide, I feel like what this is saying is there's some sort of communication coming in. Now that could be because this represents someone, this can sometimes mean an apology, or it can actually be an offer of marriage. Someone wants to offer marriage, or is planning to ask someone to marry them, and you have to decide whether or not you're going to say yes or not. So they're going to pop the question, that kind of energy. And so you might feel in this energy. The pages in the old days, of course, they would work from the court from the time they were 7 to 14 and deliver messages within the court walls, within the palace walls. And then when they became older, they would, if they were good at what they were doing, they would, and they could afford a horse when they were 21, then they might be considered for knighthood. And then, of course, they would be traveling far and wide and given a lot more responsibility. So this energy is talking about how much, there's some sort of communication coming in regarding an offer of love or an apology, something to do with romantic love, it looks like, for sure. It could possibly be just something you love to do or be, but with these cards, with the Knight of Cups and the passion here, it feels like it could be more of a love relationship. And the thing that you have to recognize is what I'm getting, this communication could be, as like it's not necessarily like communication from others. It could be communication coming from yourself, where you have to communicate with yourself and really set strong boundaries within yourself. Like, what is it you want out of a relationship right now? And be very clear on that, so you can be clear on that with other people. If you're both like it, then that way you're way less likely to be disappointed. Because if the person, on the first date, you say, this is what I'm looking for. And I mean, of course, you don't want to say, will you marry me on the first date? Or, expect someone to ask you that. But what I'm saying is like being clear of what your intentions are. And this is also saying it's better to sometimes start off small. In the way that, like, just going on a date. It's okay to just go on a date so that you can go have fun with another person and get to know them better. And that's the energy I feel is like, some people, I feel like when they're out there dating, they're dating because they want to get married or whatever. They want to be in a lasting relationship. But why not enjoy the process is the energy. And then we have the King of Cups. So this is talking about a mature love here. And so the King of Cups, he's got a cup of love in his hand, and he's sitting out on this slab on his throne, out in the middle of all this water. And in the tarot, when there's rough water around like that, it represents emotions, like volatile emotion, and someone who's feeling a lot of emotion. The king, though, he is used to, like, he has really good control of his emotions, which makes him more emotionally available because he understands his emotions. He understands what he wants. That's the energy I was just talking about. So when, know if you're dealing with this or with this, and that will benefit you quite a bit right there. So it does look like an offer of love coming in because the King of Love has the cup ready. And he's got his right foot forward. So he's like on the edge of his seat and ready to take action. So maybe the energy is he's asked someone out on a date, and or he's been dating someone and now he wants to ask for their hand in marriage. Or it could be, just wanting to get to know someone better and just waiting to hear if they've accepted his date kind of energy. Just to even go on a date, let alone the other. And the other scenario is it could be an apology coming in for what happened here, and please give me another chance kind of energy. And we have a whole new world here. So this is an interesting card to show up right here because it's talking about two different worlds here, I feel. This is a very youthful and passionate, and that's awesome. But this is a more mature love. So this is someone that is really like, he knows this is what he wants, and I feel like this is an offer of marriage, of commitment. And there's a world of difference between the two energies, as you can see. And so that's what this is talking about. And when the Fool starts on his journey in the major arcana, he starts off at the 0 point as the Fool. And then he goes through all the cards, 21 of them in the major arcana, and the very last one is the World. So it means that you've achieved something. So this energy could be talking about even someone that you knew when they were younger, and maybe you dated them when they were in this energy, and they're asking you out now, and you're like, hell no. I don't think so. But now they're mature, and it might be beneficial for you to give them another chance, because it could be talking about, hey, I was like 20 then, and now I'm 45 kind of energy. I've learned something about love in between here, that kind of energy. Okay. And if you were thinking that, at the time, maybe you were very heartbroken because you felt like, hey, this is my soulmate, when you're inexperienced in love, like it feels like when you're not used to that romantic love sensations, it can be like everyone, like it's like, oh, this is my soulmate and I can't live without them, and it's that kind of energy. But this could be really someone that this card represents. This is a soulmate. This is someone that, it's someone that you are meant to know at least at some point, and to maybe learn something from. This is saying like it's a divine partner. It's something orchestrated by above, from God, to bring down below. It's a reward, that kind of energy. And I feel like this is God offering this cup. And so when this card comes out, now this changes the scenario, because now we're talking about someone who's serious. Like, this is a serious offer, one that, is divinely guided. So that's kind of a different energy. And look at the Wheel of Fortune is turning. Very cool. So this is saying this is past, present, and future all merging together. And I feel like it is possibly someone that you knew and maybe even dated when you were younger, but it wasn't I don't feel it was a serious relationship at that time. And maybe that was part of the issue, is like maybe you wanted it to be serious, but they weren't serious, or they wanted you to be serious and you weren't ready to be serious. But now this is talking about the Wheel of Fortune turning, the past, present, and the future all merging into one, and synchronicities happening in the universe to bring the two of you together, because you're both ready now, kind of energy. That's the energy I'm picking up. And then, yes, and the energy, it's interesting because it's not coming in as the cup of love so much, but I feel like your concern is possibly you don't want to sacrifice or make it vulnerable, like what you've worked for also. So it's kind of, maybe you've had that kind of experience where you realize, because maybe you've done quite well, and but you're playing, it's like you don't like to take risks with your money because you've worked hard for it, and getting in a partnership concerns you, because you're like, I'm concerned that in the past it seems like people maybe wanted to be with you when you were dating them because you were responsible and you were able to afford going to a nice restaurant or that kind of energy. So this is talking, though, this is a totally different thing, because this is showing like the universe is handing this cup of love to you, and God himself, and this is a reward from God and the universe for staying on your destined path here. And I feel like this energy is talking about someone, like you're the type of person that treats people right. That's the kind of energy. And so it's kind of like, it puts you in a bit of a vulnerable position, and you're not really willing to leave your comfort zone at this time. But this is saying you can trust this. You can trust God if you can't trust the person. That kind of energy. And look at, there's God again saying, yes, the sun is God. And it's the happiest card in the deck. So this is like, this time it's going to be different. This is talking about you were destined to have happiness. And look at, this card is sitting right on the energy of, the soulmate card, right? And it's also saying this is a different world. This is a different cycle. This is a different energy from what you were used to in the past. And it could mean that, yeah, this person was really young, but now they're a King of Cups, like they're mature now. And look how they're coming in correct. Like, that's a lot of what you can tell also. They're not rushing in. They're not, they're being very classy in the way they do this. This child is on this pony and riding it with ease and carrying this heavy banner, and that says, hey, this is your destiny to be happy with this person. God handpicked this person for you. So that's the energy there. And this is justice for staying on your path. I love this. This is beautiful. If you look at this banner and that banner, they're very similar. And so a lot of times when people think about justice, you think about the court of law and that, and it can be that. But I feel like this is just saying, sometimes we just have justice, like in life. Like, we get what we want because we're good people and we deserve to have a good outcome. And this is what this energy is saying. This banner and this veil look very similar. So this is representing the spiritual realm as well as the physical. And this being a guided decision, like for you on your path. This was destined for you. You were to meet with this person at some point. Your souls have agreed upon it. And this is like going to be very different from anything else you have ever experienced. You're going to be very happy. That's the energy. I like that. Who doesn't want that, eh? There we go. Yay. I can do Valentine's Day readings after all. I was concerned I might have to do singles awareness readings instead. Maybe it'll be half and half. All right, so if you're enjoying this reading, do please give it a like and a comment. And it really does help me build my channel. Oh, this card's wanting to come out here. So we're going to pull this out. All right, and I'm going to clarify with my oracle cards, Tales from the Vector, TAILS, and I do have a website, talesfromthevector.com, and in the description box below, the numbers on these cards represent the paintings as they're listed in my gallery. I started this oracle like back in 2007, and I completed 64 paintings by 2020, by the end of 2020. And now I'm just ready to, okay, I'm gathering the information for the book that goes with the deck. The paintings are done, they're ready to, to be printed. And you can take a look at them on my website if you want after this reading. I will put them in the order they appear here in the description box below. And the card that wanted to come out was Aries. So this is talking about men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Aries is ruled by the planet Mars, and this is about being versus doing. And I feel like that's kind of the energy of this reading. Like it really makes sense to me. When I want to make this clear first and foremost, though, that when these zodiac signs come out, I'm not saying that this knight in shining armor is an Aries. That's not that's not my intention. It could be, because my readings are accurate. It could be that that's true for you, and you're feeling, oh, well, there we go, and that could be for you, but that's not my intention here. My intention is to consider the state of being of each of the signs and the stage of life that they're at, so we can kind of get a feeling, what is this information trying to tell us? What can we learn from it? So Aries is the baby, the newborn baby, the infant of the zodiac, the very first card, and it's ruled by Mars, and Mars can be very aggressive, like it's a very fiery, passionate energy. The ram, the glyph that Aries represents is the ram, or the glyph that represents Aries is the ram. And, think about babies. They come in head first. It's very rammy energy. So it can be very stubborn, and it can be very, pushy, rammy. It can be very rammy energy. And it's about, when you come in, it's like, I am here. And you know how a baby will let its presence be known. Like a small little baby like that can make a lot of noise. You may have noticed if you've ever had one. And the thing is, in that first year of life, look how much they do. Like, look how much they learn. Look how, and it's just natural. It comes naturally to them. Like all of a sudden, one day they're lifting their head up, and then the next thing you know, they're able to, they're practicing to crawl, and the next thing you can't find your baby because all of a sudden they're crawling. I've had that happen with it was my youngest. She took her time to walk, but man, she learned how to crawl. And when she couldn't crawl, she would roll. And she could go really far, really fast, like just doing, crawling and rolling. And then then they learn how to walk, and they're learning how to eat solid food, and they're learning how to babble. And then the next thing you know, they're saying mama and dada, and the next thing you know, they're talking in sentences, And this is all a natural progression. It's a developmental phase. And that's kind of what this energy is saying. Love is the same way. You start off slow, and you just allow it to evolve naturally. And then it's a lot more pleasant. We have the need to be right. Yeah, we want to let go of the need to be right when we're, it's kind of like, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? That kind of energy. So sometimes we can get into silly arguments with people that we love, that we look back on after and like, oh, that was like kind of a ridiculous argument. Like, I didn't care that much. I didn't need to be right, but for some reason I argued as if I need to be right. And so it's also about making mountains out of molehills, and then the energy of lack of awareness. So the power of willful ignorance. So just being like in a state where, okay, love is bad and I'm not doing it, that you're going to miss out on opportunities. And also ignoring red flags that are telling you, hey, maybe this person is not for you. Maybe, but being really stubborn and I don't want to see that kind of energy. We have the Hermit. Yeah, so it's about, this energy is like the King of Cups isn't like a hermit, but he probably has had his hermit times for sure, to be able to have this control over his emotions. And that's what it's saying. It's learning to go inward and understand what is triggering you when you behave in these ways, that are really hard to live with. For other people, it can be really challenging. And it can ruin relationships that otherwise would be really, in a better state. And the silly thing about it is that if we've been disappointed in love, we're hyper looking for these things, right? And so we might be making mountains out of molehills, that kind of energy. We have the High Priestess here. So it's saying love is intuitive, it's joyful. Like if you're feeling a lot of joy with someone, you can trust that feeling. You may have noticed you don't feel that way with just everyone. And so this is the High Priestess sits next to God on her throne. And the card is very similar to this energy here of justice between two pillars. And she follows the cycles of the moon. So she understands that, there's a time to release and there's a time to start new. And so that's the energy of being aware of the cycles of life and being very intuitive about it. So trusting your intuition when it comes to love. Love is a feeling. It's not something that can be logically explained, basically. And then we have the Libra energy. So the Libra energy is when people have reached the stage that they are, that you're feeling like, hey, I'm mature enough. I have gone through, I've dated, I've been in relationships and that have worked and that haven't, but it just wasn't the one that I wanted to stay in for, to make a commitment like this. I wasn't ready. They weren't ready. The timing wasn't right, that kind of energy. And this is about Venus. So, you may have heard of that book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. It's when these two energies can meet and they can get along, and it's the perfect timing for it. And so that's kind of what this is saying. It's sitting right here on the Wheel of Fortune and Destiny and the reward. So once you're in that energy where you are ready for a relationship yourself, where your masculine and your feminine energies are balanced, and that's the energy of the soulmates. The soulmates don't need each other. They each have their masculine and feminine qualities balanced within themselves, and that's the secret, because they're strong within themselves. They don't need the relationship, they want it, and there's a difference. And they're not needy. They don't rely on, I don't have enough masculine energy myself, so I need to find a good strong man, or I don't know how to show my feelings, so I need to have a really good, strong woman kind of energy. This is this is an equal. Your masculine and feminine qualities within yourself, you've matured, you're ready to be in that position where you have let go of expectations, basically, of how it has to be, and you're more anticipating a future with someone that matches your energy. That's the gist here. And then there's the Judgment coming in, and this is coming in from God. And if you can't trust your own judgment when it comes to love, you definitely can trust God's. And so that's the basically what this reading is about. So it's saying, this is unfettered. This is about your heart chakra, and it's also about the cosmic heart. And I feel like it's just saying that it's time. You're ready. You're a mature adult now. You've let go of the limitations of your expectations, and you are anticipating having a good relationship with someone who is a good match for you, because they're also in the same space as, mind space. and they have done the inner work to be able to attract, you've done the inner work to be able to attract each other. That's that Hermit energy. Awesome, Anna. This is a really beautiful little reading here. I really like it. I hope you've also enjoyed it. Please do give it a like and comment if you have. And consider subscribing to the channel if you resonate with the energy. I will be back at some point with another random reading about random shift. Bye for now. Oh, just when you are being good.